In a world where the line between reality and fantasy fades away, where silence carries a secret, and every whisper tells a story. Welcome to The Whisper of the Narrator. Here, tales are not just told, they are lived. Souls are reborn through words of mystery and magic, where fear, passion, and destiny intertwine. Every story you hear here will awaken something within you. So listen closely. The whisper begins now. Are you ready to listen? Chapter 17. She is your wife, Pova Kaguya. Sigh. It's hard to be a perfect maid. I can't let myself think about it again as I look over my shoulder and see an all-black bag made of a material that keeps sunlight out. Inside that bag was Lady Sasha, a friend from Lady Violet's childhood. I could put Lady Sasha in my shadow, but that would be pretty rude to her. After all, my shadow isn't a nice place. Sigh. I can't help but sigh again. A maid's duty is to always want the best for her master. This was a teaching that Julia always put in my head when I was younger. Julia was a role model for all maids, a maid considered to be perfect, who trained all maids serving the households of noble vampires of count status. She was Sasha's personal maid. She was also the head maid of the Fulgur clan, and, most importantly, she was also like a mother to Sasha herself. Losing a mother figure and finding out your family lost their count status in the nobility must have been quite a shock to Lady Sasha. I mumble under my breath with a little pity as I bounced from building to building. I was coming back to Lord Victor's house. Lady Sasha is not in a good mental condition. She is normally a noble woman, calm, and someone who follows the rules of the vampire world faithfully. But when she went through several losses in a short time, her mental state was affected, and she was not thinking clearly. If I left Lady Sasha alone, she would make a rash decision that could cause her death. And if Lady Sasha died, Lord Victor would likely lose himself in bloodlust or fall into a deep sleep. After all, the ritual is something that cannot be broken. To prevent the worst fate from happening, the three women must stay together, because if they don't, they will suffer. Lord Victor needs his wives' blood, and his wives need Lord Victor's blood. And since Lady Violet is Lord Victor's wife, I need to resolve this situation. Should I really look for another job? Maybe I can go back to Japan and teach younger maids in the future. I spoke out loud, but I knew that was not what I wanted. I want to be a perfect maid, and a perfect maid is one who chooses her master. But it seems I was far from that goal. Maybe Lord Victor will praise me for doing a good job? I shake my head several times to get this thought out of my mind, not noticing that my face is a little red. I keep jumping from building to building. Victor POV. Violet and I returned with the two hunters to her mansion. After quizzing the hunters about their abilities and everything I could know about the techniques they use, I was satisfied when I finished my interrogation. I left the two hunters in the care of Violet and Violet's servants. I told her not to treat the two badly. After all, we could use them as a bargaining chip for veteran hunters. Although I doubt these veteran hunters will care about their recruits, they are still a good organization, right? So they should keep up appearances, I think. Good and evil are subjective. If I do good for one person, and at the same time I harm another person, even if I don't know I did it, for the person I harmed, I will be considered evil, and for the person I helped, I'll be considered good. In the end, there is no good and bad. What exists are just choices and the consequences of your choices. As Newton said in the past, for every action you make a reaction is created at the same time. That thought can be included in real life too, and not just in physics. Before leaving the mansion, I told Violet to bring more clothes than usual because I would use that excuse at home. After all, I know my mom. I'm sure she'll ask why Violet didn't come home. Violet agreed with me and said she would. Returning home, I meet my parents. "Where's Violet?" my mom asked me. She was watching a movie while my dad was washing the dishes. Apparently, they bought food. In our house, there's no such nonsense about the man sitting on the couch and the woman washing dishes. We divide our tasks into weekdays. It seems like today is my Father's Day to wash the dishes. She's a little busy. She lives in a mansion, so she has a lot of clothes to bring. I spoke in a neutral tone. You really hit the jackpot. You got a rich, beautiful, and loving wife. I have nothing more to teach you. As a mother, I'm proud, as expected of me. My mother commented proudly of me, as a small tear fell from her face. She looked like an ancient master who taught their disciple everything they learned and was proud of their disciple. Mother, I was speechless as I looked at my mother. I mean, if it were up to your father, you would work as a bricklayer and you would whistle to women passing by on the street. You would be a caveman. I don't want my son to be like that. She spoke with a serious face, as if she were teaching me something important. Oof. I saw my dad react like a knife had gone into his chest. Woman, why did you agree to date me back then if I was a caveman? My dad practically yelled as he stopped washing the dishes. My mom turns her face and looks at my dad and responds with the same honesty she always has. Well, you were tall, muscular, and knew how to treat a woman well. And your dragon warrior was a great warrior too. Anna, Leon, the two looked like two teenagers in love. Okay, stop. I don't want to hear about that, I said while making the stop gesture. I was used to this casual exchange from my parents, but even though I am used to it, I don't want to see it. Suddenly, Kaguya walks through the door of the house, and when she closes the door, she calls my parents' attention. Mr. Leon and Mistress Anna, I came back sorry for the delay. Oh, Kaguya, right? Where were you? I haven't seen you all morning. My mom asked. I was solving some problems that Lady Violet forgot to deal with. Kaguya spoke in a neutral tone. Oh, good job. As expected of a professional maid, you guys are different. My mom praised her honestly. It seems that my mother's compliment seemed to work because Kaguya flashed a small, satisfied smile and spoke in her usual neutral tone, as she seemed to puff out her chest. This is easy for me. Umu, get in the house, let's talk. My mom spoke with a big smile as she invited Kaguya to her side. Unfortunately, I can't do that right now. I'm working, Kaguya said, as she grabs my arms. I'm a little surprised by Kaguya's attitude. Oh, my mother displays a meaningful smile. I look at her smile and immediately understand what she's thinking. Are you after another girl? What if Violet finds out about this? Be careful. I won't meddle in your personal life. But I don't want a child killed by their wife. How do I know she specifically said that? Well, in the past, she and I talked a lot about the future, and she said those exact words. She said she wouldn't meddle in my personal life. After all, I would be an adult in the future. She just didn't. She wanted the tragedy she saw in an anime to be repeated with her womanizing son. I felt a lot of damage that day when she said the word womanizing. At the time, I couldn't even catch a fly, let alone catch a woman. Lord Victor, we have a problem, Kaguya spoke in a low voice as she looked at me with a serious expression. Seeing Kaguya's serious expression, I understand that something serious has happened, and Kaguya needs me for something. After all, she's a serious maid, and she wouldn't make a joke about a problem. I nod my head, indicating that I understand, and I tell my parents I'll work something out with Kaguya. I'll be back soon. Take care, my mom spoke as she waved at me. But suddenly, she makes an expression like she remembers something, and she yells, Victor, you should go get Zach from the vet. He must be missing you. Oh, I had completely forgotten about my cat. I smack my hand over my head. Now that I've stopped to think about it, I've been missing stroking that fluffy fur. Deciding that I would pick up Zach from the vet later, I went out with Kaguya. When Victor left his house with Kaguya, they enter the secret passage that was close to a wall, and soon they slowly descended into the basement of the house. Do you think Victor is doing things with Kaguya? Leon asked curiously when he saw the house door close. I doubt it. I know my son. I raised him to be a loyal man. He won't run after another woman if he's married to a woman as beautiful as Violet. Something probably happened. Anna, Victor's mother, spoke with an unconcerned expression. I see, Leon said, and then continued washing the dishes. Wait, they're married, right? But why was there no wedding ceremony? He spoke as he washed the dishes, but when he realized what he was saying, he looked at Anna. Suddenly, Anna looks like she's been struck by lightning. She freezes and looks at Leon with shining eyes. It was like she had something interesting to do. Leon, seeing this, just thought, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, son. I didn't know maid work included kidnapping beautiful women. Is that a new kind of fetish?" I asked Kaguya, who ignored what I said while looking at the two blonde women who were sleeping in two separate beds. The first blonde woman was wearing a modern maid dress that looked like Kaguya's, and the other woman, she was beautiful. Unlike Violet, she had short blonde hair, that reached her neck, very pale skin, thick thighs, and big breasts. She was wearing a long-sleeved black silk shirt with a two-button collar that goes to the middle of the neck. Between her breasts there was a white, square-shaped tile embroidered on the edges in gold. It looks very tight, and since it is silk, and you could completely see her round breasts and her very slim waist. What was even more surprising was the white sailor-like coat with a bow tie tied just above her breasts, just leaving the white coat over her shoulder without actually wearing it. She wore a white skirt with two belts, one at the waist and one falling more diagonally on the right side. It was cut like those cheongsam dresses and showed off a sexy black garter belt that covered her long, perfect legs. I noticed she was also wearing white 2-inch high heels, but the heels were leaning against the side of the bed. This woman was very attractive. I feel my vision changing, and I look at her and feel the same thing as when I saw Violet for the first time. It was an inexplicable attraction. It was like I needed to suck her blood. Ugh. I put a hand to my throat and walk away quickly, looking at my reaction to seeing the blonde woman for a long time. Kaguya spoke in a neutral tone. You're reacting to her. Huh. Who is she? I ask as I help my heart. I thought I had quenched my bloodlust with Violet, but why was I reacting so strongly? Kaguya doesn't answer me. She looks at the woman who's been lying in bed for a long time, and I see her hesitate, as if she's making an important decision. In the end, she seems to make up her mind, then looks at me and speaks in a serious tone of voice. She's your wife. Huh? I look at Kaguya in shock with my mouth agape. And so, the whisper fades. But the story never truly ends. Each tale hides within it a new beginning. Perhaps even another life waiting to be told. You've been listening to The Whisper of the Narrator. If this journey touched your soul, don't let it end here. Subscribe, stay, and listen again. For the next whisper will be deeper, darker, and more beautiful.